Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a double Ram header. Please welcome my NFC West roundtable mate, Ram Showcase, Sheriff Joe Bag.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah, no problem, bro. So, explain to the audience what's your channel about and how they can find you.
Yeah, so Ram Showcase it's a little over 5 years old now. I started it back in March of 2016. So March 15th was my first episode, 2016. It was terrible, but yeah, it's basically I've been. I say one of the responses I've gotten is it's like ESPN, but just for the Rams. So that's like the coolest comment I think I've ever gotten. But yeah, we do a weekly show just about the LA Rams, which is the best team in the NFC West. So that's pretty cool stuff. And then everywhere it's just at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags. That's everywhere. But if you search Ram Showcase on YouTube, subscribe there. That's where the magic happens mostly.
Yeah, and so that's where they find you at Ram Showcase. And what else, like in social media, like in Twitter or Instagram, where would they find you at? Same thing?
Yeah, it's at Ram Showcase or at Sheriff Joe Bags. That's both on Instagram and Twitter. And then Facebook.com/Ram Showcase or /Sheriff Joe Bags. Facebook is where I'm the most active. I'm trying to lean into Instagram and Twitter just a little bit more, but Facebook is the main one.
Yeah, that's where we kind of got our communication off of that other social media. But yeah, so what made you a Rams fan from the time you became a fan of the team? What was that one player that came to you like, oh, that's the team I'm going to go for because of this guy?
It was actually Marshall Faulk. I loved watching Marshall Faulk play. I loved his style. I thought he was just so exciting to watch at any given time. Didn't matter what the play was, the situation was, at any given time, he could do something amazing. You know what I mean? It's like that kid in The Incredibles. Like, what are you waiting for? I don't know, something amazing. You were going to get it with Marshall Faulk. So that was fun. And I was very young when he went over to the Rams. Obviously, it was that 99 season. And so I actually watched him for a little bit with the Colts whenever I could catch him. Like, I just liked Marshall Faulk. And then went over to the Rams, just started kind of following him there. And that's kind of what stuck. Like, once by the time he was done, it's like, I think I'm a Rams fan, you know? And so I've kind of leaned into it pretty hard. So clearly, I've leaned into it pretty hard.
And so it seems to me that the last Ram just said the same thing, Marshall Faulk. Man, that's intriguing. Yeah, he did set the standard. He was a receiving back, a great runner too. Like, this guy was great for your offense, like the 99 season. That's like, oh, looking forward to your Rams playing my Giants week 16 to test our web. Oh, dude, this is going to be intriguing.
Yeah, that'll be a really good game, actually. There's a lot of games on our schedule that I'm really excited for. Giants are one of them. The Giants are one of those teams that they've got all the pieces together. I really like their coach right now. If as long as that quarterback, as long as he can keep it together, man, then I think that's a heck of a team out there for sure. And they've got a very real shot at winning that division for sure.
Yeah. Like, as far as the NFC East, it's pretty open because of the competition. Yeah. But I think the Rams are improving a lot during this offseason. But A Demon, one of the first 1,000-yard players. Actually, it was Roger Craig that did that standard before Marshall Faulk did it. So
Roger Craig was a heck of a player too, man.
Yeah, he was. The first Ram I remember were Mark Bolger, Torrey Holt, and Steven Jackson. Yeah.
I wore my Mark Bolger jersey like 2 days ago, actually. I was like, I haven't pulled this out in a while, so I threw that one on, actually. That's funny.
Yeah, that's like your Jimmy G right there.
Yeah, man. That's Bolger was there for so long. He was like so average for so long. Like, he was a decent player, actually, and then the team crumbled around him. We brought in all these like terrible coaches to kind of handle everything, and he kind of got thrown under the bus, man. That guy was a Pro Bowl quarterback until we started wrecking our roster.
Yeah, and then Isaac Bruce was another good player for you guys. Everybody had to thumbs up.
The Reverend.
So, okay, I'll tell you what got me to be a fan of San Francisco. Steve Young. The moment I watched this guy play, it stuck with me. There was a lot of great players. A lot of times I got, come on, man, I ain't drinking no more. I did it for the entertainment cause, but it's this heat. It's pretty hot, so that's why I was taking to the glasses. But in all perspectively, like Steve Young was just one hell of a good quarterback. Like he just was mobile. He extended plays. He was the passing title at one point, and we just haven't had a quarterback like that for a long time. And maybe there's hope with Trey Lance if we develop him the right way. And remember in the roundtable, I said I wanted Trey Lance.
Man, I told you immediately that I predicted Trey Lance, and everybody kept saying,
you did.
I was like, no, they're going Trey Lance, man. You don't make that move for somebody who's not Trey Lance. Like, you don't make that move for a Mac Jones or anything like that. I kept saying it. I think it was Steezy that kept he was the one that kept saying that it was going to be Mac Jones, I think. But like I was
but Steezy said that it would be Trey Lance that would worry him the most.
That's true. We all said that, though. Like that's the guy that we didn't want the 49ers to take.
Yeah, and when you look at the roundtable episode, you did say, "Oh, it's going to be Trey Lance." I don't believe in that Mac Jones hype.
Yeah. And then watching the draft, I watched the pick happen, and it was like, almost turned it off because then we don't pick the first round. First round picks are for bad teams, but
CG sweaty. Sweaty because of weather. Hell yeah.
Jeff Fisher is definitely one of the worst coaches that the Rams have ever had. I would think we have a stretch there with like Scott Linehan, Steve Spagnuolo. Those were some really bad ones in there. Jeff Fisher was better than those, but not good.
Yeah. Then there was another guy that the guy liked, Ricky Prohl. He was an okay receiver.
Yeah, he was. I mean, definitely not like the elite status, but definitely like a solid contributor for quite a while. So his son now plays for, I believe, the Chargers, Austin Prohl.
Oh, yeah. I think we signed one of his other sons, too.
It's actually it's for the Niners. He used to play for the Chargers. He also used to play for the Rams. He's been on a lot of teams, but hasn't really been able to stick yet. But yeah, Ricky Prohl's son, he's a 49er.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on our future reserve contract, so yeah. How's it hot over here? It's Fresno heat. What do you expect? I'm sweating like.
Let's see I don't know what it's at where I'm at right now, but I am not feeling good. I know that much. It's probably not nearly as hot here. It's 80 right now, which in Colorado terms is like 100. So it works out.
Yeah, gold-blooded. Oh, what's up? Oh, true. No, like this is like 100 and this is like 100 degrees out here, man. It's really hot down Fresno.
No, thank you.
Sweaty. Like earlier, I wasn't feeling that sweat over here, and until just now.
Yeah, well, it's hot outside. Yeah. My apartment gets hot anyway, and now I got these lights on me, so we'll start cooking here soon.
Yeah, I'll start cooking like a pig down Fresno.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, so what's more optimistic about your Rams this year that's been a weakness for you guys that you guys improved this offseason?
Yeah, I think it's very clear. I mean, with the minimal moves that the Rams made this offseason, I think it's a very obvious one, the quarterback spot. Jared Goff's been holding his team back, not entirely for his whole career. He's not been holding us back his entire career. Of course, he helped the team get to a Super Bowl, so you can't say that. But last year, that was a weak spot for the Rams, was quarterback. He kept throwing the ball to defensive linemen. He just became very, very robotic in his decisions. Like he was going to throw this ball at this time at this receiver, no matter what the defense kind of looked like. So I think going from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford, I think is a massive upgrade. I don't know if it's getting the credit that it deserves yet as an improvement spot on any roster, but I'm really excited to see what Stafford can do. He's 33, so I know that we put him into that older range, but I mean, realistically, that's at least 5 years in my mind that we can get Stafford. So I think we've got a good little window here to see what he can really do outside of the Detroit Lions for a stronger team and a stronger coach in LA.
Oh, here's your tag team partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, like I do think that Stafford is a huge upgrade because Goff was just like he wasn't much before Sean McVay came. So I'm more optimistic about how you guys are going to do with Stafford. When healthy, Stafford's one of the most accurate passers by far. I mean, you got one of the best underrated receiver in football, Robert Woods, who can make the big plays. Cooper Kupp, third downs, or very reliable target. That's the kind of guy you need to click chemistry with. So that's an intriguing one right there. Stafford with this kind of supporting cast. I want to see if he can win a playoff game. That's the one question mark.
Well, I said it on my show a couple of times was that it's like I heard this quote a long time ago that was, if you judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree, he'll spend its entire life believing he's an idiot. If you judge a quarterback by his ability to win playoff games for the Detroit Lions, everybody in the world is going to think he sucks. All right, it's not possible. You can't just be going winning playoff games for the Detroit Lions. That's, you know how good you have to be. So I mean, going from the Detroit Lions to, I mean, we don't have any weapons who are as good as Calvin Johnson, so I'll give him that. But we have more weapons than he's ever had, a better offensive line than he's ever had, a better defense than he's ever had, better coaching staff, and then if you want to push it further, better stadium, better city than he's ever had. So he's in a better situation right now. And all those things combined, I mean, I don't think there's any reason not to be optimistic about Matthew Stafford for the Rams.
Oh, yeah. So here's a question that your boy asked. Have you chatted about Jacob Harris yet?
Not yet. Not yet. Jacob Harris is a very exciting prospect. He's a rookie tight end coming in. And, you know, he is going to be a backup, and he'll probably start kind of third string and then kind of get into some rotation. But he's got some very strong potential, and his measurables are that of elite talent. So if he can progress and just keep working, then he's got the ability to be a very good player for the Rams. Rams O-line's not very good.
Kind of been true. Oh, okay. So,
I mean, can you give Tommy? Can you give me any more information about that? Because I mean, if you look at the roster, the depth on that team, as well as their rankings last year, there's no reason to say that they're not good. They were top 3 last year, bringing back 4 or 5 starters. The spot that will be replaced is center, and that's actually Austin Corbett, who was a starter last year. He's going to be taking over that role, and then the spot vacated by him will be taken by players who have started in the past as well. So I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Not so good. That just sounds like you're not watching enough of the Rams.
Well, I mean, Pale did put on an argument, but I think you guys are like not too bad. Like I would say the worst offensive line would be Seattle. I mean, it's nothing compared to what you guys got. Yeah, Jacob Harris is going to be I love the background you have. Yeah, I'm being more fair with all my guests, since he's a Rams fan. I want to make sure he feels welcome. And for this guy, this Ramley Sports Report, huge shout out to you. Maybe down the road, if you want to check out my stream, maybe we can collaborate too. I like to talk to other fan base, so I'm more open for everybody. But Ram Showcase, man. I mean, how do you feel about this
on this comment? Rams answer to Kittle. That I think is a stretch right now, man. Kittle is an absolute stud, and I will say right now, I'm not willing to put Harris in that conversation yet. We'll see. Let's let him play first before we put him in that conversation with Kittle, because Kittle's an absolute monster.
Yeah, I still think that it's still unproven, but I think some fans should feel optimistic about the players. Like, okay, like for example, I'm more excited for Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon might be one of our best running backs after next year, because if it comes down to Mostert being gone next year, I think he might even be the best bell cow back for us going into next year. But as a rookie, I just I'm not going to say he's better than most of the other running backs.
I want to see people play before I crown them.
Yeah, who is the worst NFC, or who is the NFC's worst team?
The NFC
any team in the East. I don't know. I mean, are we talking NFC West, or are we talking NFC North, or which NFC? Like the worst team in the NFC?
NFC total, probably Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. Detroit's one of them, because they don't have.
I like Dan Campbell, and if he can do a decent job, I think that team will be all right. In some time, but
yeah,
that's a rough roster.
Yeah.
Right?
Eagles and Lions, I don't know. I think Lions are the worst, because they don't have much of a talent. Like, they don't even have receivers. Like, they barely have any household names. No Stafford, so that might be the only thing. Yes, Lions are the worst. I mean, yeah, they are, because then you got a team in the NFC East is another terrible team. So that's another discussion for another day.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I truly think that Washington might walk away with that division, but Giants are very, very much in that. I think it'll be between those two. Dallas and Philly, I don't trust.
Yeah, I think the Giants are the most intriguing team because they're making strides under Joe Judge, and I think by the second year they should make a push for the playoffs. Washington, as long as they have their defense and as long as the offense improves, then I can see them still the team. But it's hard to win that division just twice, you know. So it's like they don't go back to back for no reason because the NFC East it changes every year, so it's kind of one of the weakest divisions of football.
Yeah, I like what the Giants are doing. Joe Judge is doing a really good job out there, and they got so much better over the course of the season last year. So I think they'll do some damage. I think.
Well, for any Giants fan like Mr. YTC, yeah, you should feel optimistic about your team being in that discussion. I mean, they were just one win away from making the playoffs last year by winning that division. So, yeah, you may have a good argument there.
Well, it's also the NFC East. You just got to be slightly above average when you're winning it. You can't do that in the West. You got to be absolutely.
Oh, come on, Navarro. That ain't gonna work. Oh man, come on. I just think that Lions are the one team that everybody was talking about. Like, are you thinking I want to jinx it? Nah. NFC is coming back up. Washington has potential.
It's going to take some years here. Let's not pretend like any of those teams are Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that could be contenders if healthy, but Dallas is always the most overrated team because they got the best talent in the world, but they just don't have the right coaching staff for the players to be consistent. Like
their coaching staff might be the weakest in the entire league.
Yeah, and then you look at Green Bay. They got everything, but then it's just Aaron Rodgers. That's not really going to do them no favors. Minnesota, they are a pretty good team, but they're just not a type of team that's
above average. You know?
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, they are above average team. So you look at Kirk Cousins, he can only take you so far. But when you look at the teams in the NFC West, it's a dogfight division because it's not going to be easy to win that division. It's going to be like a tough one. You got the Rams.
All four of the NFC West teams, any of them winning the division shouldn't shock anybody. Like even, I mean, I think it really is a race between the 49ers and the Rams. But if Seattle won it, nobody'd be surprised. If Arizona won it, nobody'd be surprised. I mean, just simply based on their roster, like it'd be none of these teams would be a shock to win the NFC West, and we really could see all of these teams just go to the playoffs this year.
Oh yeah, okay. So here's a question from Bay Area Baller 18. How does the Rams fan feel about replacing players like Johnson and Brocker and others they lost?
Yeah, so solid question. But John Johnson is one of the better safeties in the NFL, and that's a tough guy to replace for sure. I like our second-year guys that I believe will be the starters in that spot, which would be Terrell Burgess as well as Jordan Fuller. I think that they'll be the starters there, and I think that they'll do fine. Let's not pretend that losing John Johnson's not a big hit, though. That absolutely is a big hit. The Cleveland Browns got better because of it. Michael Brockers, he's kind of that block eater kind of guy, and I really think that we have replacements on the roster that I think will do at least a comparable job to what Michael Brockers did. Troy Hill, I think, is trying to see which way is the right way to word it. I think people are overreacting to us losing Troy Hill. I think the Rams are going to be fine with that. Like, I know that he did a really good job last year. He led the NFL in defensive touchdowns, but I mean, he's still a replaceable guy. The Rams are going to be okay losing Troy Hill. As far as anybody else, we didn't really lose that much else. Just Austin Blythe on the offensive line. That one kind of sucks. And then some lower level roster guys, Josh Reynolds, stuff like that. So I think we replaced everybody that we needed to replace. And with Johnson specifically, that'll be the toughest one. But Brockers, I think, will be all right. Yeah, A'Shawn Robinson is definitely a candidate there. I'm actually kind of penciling in Bobby Brown III a little bit more there. I just think that he fits that Brockers mold just a little bit more than A'Shawn does. But we've heard some good things out of A'Shawn Robinson from the coaching staff this offseason, so I'm excited.
So, yeah, okay. So Rambly Sports Report did. Okay, so I heard about this guy. He was from the Lions, right?
Which one? A'Shawn?
A'Shawn Robinson.
Yeah, A'Shawn Robinson, he played for the Lions. We picked him up last year. He was hurt, so he didn't really do a whole lot. He kind of came in rotationally, very sparingly. But this year, they say he dropped some weight. He's looking a little quicker, a little faster, so I'm excited for him.
Okay, yeah, the NFC with the best division is in the hardest. Yeah, as long as y'all have pass rushers, you're good. Like the thing with the Rams are they don't really lack much on defensive talent. Like you can say their pass rushes are really solid. Secondary's not too bad. They got depth. Like the thing about the Rams are they're the most complete team. Like I don't see much of a weakness on this team, and it's kind of like I like our team. I like my team to be the underdog, so we can not get the pressure. But I think the pressure for this year is that the Rams have a lot to prove because you made that move for Stafford. You made that trade. You are making that push for that Super Bowl. And Sean McVay is rolling that dice. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like this is a Super Bowl contending team, or do you feel like uh, slow your roll a little bit?
This team won 10 games last year and won a road playoff game in Seattle. I know no fans, but still a road playoff game in Seattle. And, and honestly, we're in that game with the Packers. And if just a couple other things kind of go our way, that game kind of just felt like it wasn't going our way a little bit, and that happens. But, winning 10 games, winning a road playoff game, and then that entire season, you feel like you're being held back by your quarterback. Yeah, I think this is a Super Bowl contending team. Absolutely. I don't think that that's a stretch at all. Rams' weakness is definitely linebacker. I agree with Tommy. Tommy, I feel like you're just a little bit of a hater, which is fine. But it's linebacker is definitely a weak spot, a young spot for the Rams. There's a lot of talent there. It's just a lot of unproven youth. So I know potential doesn't pay bills. Production does, but eventually potential will either fizzle out or turn into production. So.
Okay, so he asked the same question that he asked Pale. What is the team you hate most?
I kind of most people hate my answer to this because I've kind of grown out of my hatred phase of teams. I try to just appreciate football for what it is. I love the NFL and I love all levels of football really. But if I had to pick a team that I hated the most, I would say that it's probably the Seahawks. I've always when I was really getting into covering the Rams and writing articles and stuff like that back, I don't know how long it's been now, but that was the team that kind of just seemed to get under my skin a little bit. And I guess guys like Richard Sherman didn't help that. So I'll go Seahawks.
Yeah, Sherman did influence the hate for Seattle because the time we played him in the playoffs, he would open his mouth. He said something about Cratchit being a mediocre receiver and then talking smack about our fan base. Yeah, it's very debatable argument. And then you got part of the fan base alone trying to be arrogant and cocky a little bit. And then, okay, so Rams draft late, good talent, secondary. So this guy's another good.
Yes, Robert Rochelle is my guy this year. He's kind of like he's like my pick of being the gem of the Rams draft class this year is Robert Rochelle. I think that after this season where we got Darius Williams, he's back. He was just the restricted free agent, so we were able to get him back for a year pretty cheap, but he's going to price himself out of the Rams. We all know that the Rams cap situation is not ideal, and he's going to be one of those players that I think is a little bit of a cap casualty. I don't think we can bring him back, but Robert Rochelle, I think if he can do what I think he can do, then this year I think he'll prove a lot of things out there on the football field in 17-game regular season. Next year, I think he's really got the potential to I think Robert Rochelle and Jalen Ramsey will be the top two corners in the 2022 season for the Rams.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You're in the Bay. What's up? That's cool.
What's up? Yeah, everything's kind of so this division will be wide open for a lot of good reasons because it's going to be who's the better team. And I think the Rams and the 49ers are the team that's got a lot to prove. Seattle, people are going to sleep on Seattle and a lot of it. So Cardinals, you don't know what to expect. Like you said, it's got to be more consistency. Man, a lot of comments. Trying to keep up as much comments as I can.
Tommy, I'm just playing with you, dude. I'm not you're fine.
Oh no, Tommy plays around. Tommy's a good guy. He'll part this up.
Fine, Tommy. I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. I'm saying you're a hater because you're just all your questions are why does this position suck for you guys? Why do you guys suck here?
Yeah, I appreciate every one of y'all, especially a few of your Rams, buddy. Ramley Reports, whatever his name is. I'll definitely need to check out his content. If he's got
not entirely 100% sure who that is specifically.
Well, he's another Rams of yours, but I
Yes.
like to be more supportive of any fan base, you know. Yeah, dude. You know what? You've been doing good lately on your channel, dude. I'm very happy for you, man. Like the time I got to know you on the roundtable, you were barely getting close to 1,000, and you started making some good videos. I've been checking out your video from time to time, you know, but I've been kind of busy with everything. But I see what you be posting, so a lot of the Ram stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind
appreciate
of
that.
intriguing. Yeah,
It's
you do
fun.
a good
Man.
job,
I
bro.
love doing this stuff.
Yeah, man. Damn, I never had this many damn comments, and then I got to respond to every one of them.
Everybody's backing up Tommy now. I'm sorry, Tommy. I didn't mean to call you out there. Everybody's got his back, so apparently I'm the jerk here.
Nah, but seriously, man, it's nothing but love in this division. You know, everybody has like their own opinions and all that. Damn, this light. Yeah, but in all seriously, dude.
Stafford played for the Lions, man.
Yeah,
I think he
but
did
in all
it.
seriously, nah, but he's just playing with you, man. He's messy. Tommy Hooks, he likes to play around, but yeah. So as far as the team, man, the one that's the most weakness for my team is the secondary, because the secondary with that, with the secondary, like after Verrett, there's nobody else to step in. We're hoping maybe Aubrey Thomas can be the guy. Yeah, so like after that, who's gonna replace Williams if he gets injured? Lenore, he's an unproven rookie, but he did look good in the offseason. But under the league rules, he did violate the lead stuff. So that's one of the weaknesses that I might be concerned about. So that might be the one weakness. Linebacker seems like a strength for us. It's a little decent. Defensive line, I think our pass rush depth is a lot deeper than last year. Last year, we weren't able to get those kind of players. But now that we got one of your guys, we're hoping that he can pan out, like maybe as a rotational, but he might replace.
How is that?
Yeah.
How is that?
How do you feel about that? Oh, he's in great shape. Off season, he's working out like a beast. He's doing some good techniques. A lot of the players and the coaching staff, they're praising this guy. They're talking about how he's
his motor, man. His work ethic and his motor have never been in question. He was still kind of crafting his technique while he was with the Rams. So I mean, if he can get that in order, I mean, that guy's going to be a monster. I mean, I don't know if you remember that Rams Chiefs Monday night game. It was absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, the touchdown play where he got like an interception touchdown, then he got a fumble recover and a sack.
Touchdowns that game. And everybody's like, "Oh, there's no defense." Like, no defense? What do you mean? Ucom had 2 touchdowns.
Oh, dude, that was one of the best performances by that guy. And when I saw that highlight, I'm like saying, who is number 50? You know, I was just wondering who that guy was, but he was something. Yeah,
we had that biological Butters.
Yeah, he's a Bears fan. He's looking.
Hey, please reach out to me via social media at Ram Showcase on Instagram will be fine. Yeah, do that, man. We'll have conversations. We'll definitely do that. All right.
Oh yeah, he's a Bears fan. He's looking for somebody to collaborate with.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess according to your boy Jalen Ramsey blocked him for that little Daryl Moody little daddy joke or something.
Yeah, that's
he's a troll. He's a troll. He likes to troll, but Butters is funny. He is kind of a funny guy.
Yeah, but also, why are these Bears fans saying this stuff? Well, dude had like 2 catches for 40 yards or something like that. It's like, okay, I mean, I realize that for the Bears, that's a pretty impressive stat line, but let's relax, all right?
Yeah, but I think out of all of it, like I think for the Rams, I mean, this is make or break year for Sean McVay. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I don't. I think he's already made, man. He's been to a Super Bowl. He completely turned this team around immediately. We were 4-12 before he showed up, and he shows up in 2017. We were a playoff team right away. Changed the entire culture of the team. Took this team to a Super Bowl. He's only missed the playoffs 1 time, and it was we were 1 win away from making the playoffs, and also we were still above 500. So he's never seen a below 500 record. I mean, we saw what he did with Jalen, man. I don't know. I don't think that he's make or break at all. I think he's solidified himself. He's been there for a while.
I didn't mean that part, but I mean like make or break year for him to win the Super Bowl.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's been there, and because we've talked about it before on the roundtable. Is like the 49ers are like, it feels like they're just 1 year behind the Rams. Like everything that the Rams do, that's just what the Niners do the following year. So. You know, we could say the same thing about Shanahan, but I think that both of them are doing a hell of a job. And I don't know. I mean, I never have that Super Bowl or bust mentality because I guess for myself, and it's another one of those comments that people hate, but it's like, I mean, the Rams could lose every single game. I'm still going to be doing Rams Showcase. I'm still going to be repping my colors and stuff. So, I mean, ultimately winning is more fun, but losing is not a deal breaker.
Yeah, losing's like a disease, but winning cures everything.
That's true, man. But we could lose all of our games for the next 10 years. I'm still going to be doing Rams Showcase and sporting my jerseys and stuff.
So you won't put it back like a Saints fan would do?
Absolutely not. I hate that so much. And Rams fans started doing it in St. Louis, wearing bags on their heads. I was like, man, those are fake fans. Get them out of here.
Oh, man. So we already discussed about Ebicom, but I think he wants to know more about what the Rams will miss about him.
Yeah, what the Rams will miss about Ebicom is just that sheer work ethic, man. He's got that motor that just does not stop, like a la Chris Long when he was with the Rams. Just go, 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 go. Never takes a play off, man. When he's out there, he is definitely busting his butt cheeks out there. So he's a heck of a player, man. He needs to work on his techniques a little bit. Maybe the coaching out in San Fran will be a game changer for him more so than it was in LA. But you know, that kid works for sure. And he's been getting stronger. He's been getting bigger over the last couple of years. I mean, if you look at him as a rookie for the Rams, definitely much, much more athletic today. So, I mean, you guys are getting a good player for sure.
Okay, so let me look at another question. But, dude, as far as like the strength of our team, it's been running back. How do you guys feel about your running back position group? Is it really interesting than it was with Todd Gurley, or you think it's just not the same with Todd Gurley?
Well, Todd Gurley's knee pieced out, but I like our running backs right now. They're just all young and unproven. Everybody's on the Cam Akers train right now, and I'm not saying that I'm not on the Cam Akers train a little bit, but also like we don't really have anything to say like for sure that Cam Akers is about to blow up this year. We feel pretty good about it. He did a solid job last year. His averages were good and all that, but to say that 100% Cam Akers is going to be like a top 5 back, I'm not there yet. I want to see it, of course, but you know we're just young there. Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers seem to be the guys, but Jake Funk I think has a real shot at being a contributor. A guy that I really like and I think is kind of an underrated person right now is Otis Anderson Jr., the newest Ram that we signed out of UCF. I think he's just the versatility that he brings, I think, is ideal for Sean McVay's offense. So I'm excited for preseason. We finally get a preseason this year so we can actually see these kids play and see who jumps out.
Oh, I think for the team alone, I think that's what Sean McVay's taken that approach from is the running back by committee.
Yeah.
Belichick does it. Shanahan does it. So it's kind of worked for a lot of teams in certain ways. So you can keep your running backs fresher and healthier. Yeah, you know, the one rookie I'm more excited about, and some people might not even talk about him as much, but he might be a sleeper, and I want to say his name, Tolino Hufanga. He might even take Jaworski Tartt's job, and he kind of looks like the kind of guy who can step in special teams and be the contributor. And then maybe that one sleeper that might take Raheem Mostert's job next year is probably going to be the guy that we drafted in the last pick. I think this Elijah Mitchell, oh my God, dude, he runs like quick. He's a big physical back, but then you got Trey Sermon who could do it all.
I like Sermon.
Oh yeah, dude, I liked him coming out of Oklahoma before he like transferred. But
yeah, Sermon's a heck of a back, man. That's I think that I don't know if it will be. I don't know if it'll be day one that he just comes in and starts wrecking souls, but you know, I think that possibly next year that'll be like when he really starts to take off. I missed that question.
The other guy was asking you, do you dislike this? Because I do. Well, he did say he did dislike. I don't know.
Did you say that? Technically, if I had to pick a team that I hate the most, I would go with Seattle. But there's also like there's just a certain level of respect that I have for every team. I love football. I love the NFL. So I mean, there's at least one player on every team that I would love on my team. I mean, the Seahawks, they got one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I'm really jealous about it, but.
Oh, okay. So Barry Ball is asking you an interesting question.
That is an interesting question. Tutu felt like a reach, and what have the reports been on him? Well, what I can tell you is that, of course, with the Rams, the Rams did sign Deshaun Jackson this offseason. Also, about Tutu Atwell, Sean McVay has kind of called him the the Deshaun Jackson Jr., and he was actually saying that pre-draft about Tutu Atwell. So I don't think that the move was necessarily the name or anything, because there was wide receivers out there that were available when the Rams were up, and Tutu specifically is a guy that I think fits in with Sean McVay's offense really well. So, we can say it's a reach or whatever, but the Rams also draft in a way that is a little bit different than everybody else. Obviously, we don't really care about first-round picks. They're overvalued usually. If you're not picking in the top 10, you can probably just go ahead and drop out of the first. And the fact that the Rams are a playoff team right now that consistently are above 500, we are picking later. So you can just kind of piece out of the first round, and that's fine. And Tutu, I think, was specifically taken because of his skill set, not necessarily his draft board rankings according to guys that don't know what they're talking about, like Kuiper.
Okay. We all know Mel Kiper could be a little bit of a delusional at times, but when I thought about when you guys were drafting Tutu Atwell, I would have thought, man, this would have been another Tavon Austin, just the way he was built. But maybe there's just something that the Rams like about him, like you just said. It could be a Deshaun Jackson 2.0.
Well, I would say he's closer to a Deshaun Jackson style than a Tavon style, because I think Tavon was a lot more explosive than Tutu Atwell, but Tutu, I think, will be more consistent, because Tavon, we know that he had like 4 or 5 games that were absolutely incredible. And then outside of that, pretty subpar. So less explosive than Tavon, more consistent.
So which is the one player that you question the most out of the Rams this year's draft? Which is the one player your head scratching like, man, I don't know about that pick?
Out of just the draft class?
Yeah. If you had to pick one.
Okay. I'm going wide receiver Ben Skoranek. It made no sense to me. The Rams have Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Deshaun Jackson, Van Jefferson. They took Tutu Atwell, Jacob Harris earlier, who can play wide receiver as well. And then we bring back other guys. We bring back, Simba Webster's. I just bringing in Ben Skoranek, that made no sense to me. I think that he's got such a hill to climb to even make this roster that I would be surprised if he did. And I've been saying that on my show right away. It was like, why would we take, what is the purpose of this? And I think it's going to be a stretch for Ben Skoranek to even make the team. And so when that pick came in, that was one of the ones that's like, why would we do that? He's going to be like the 9th receiver right now on the team. Like, what the heck is the deal?
Oh, so that's the one that you don't like the most. Okay. Is he that big receiver from Notre Dame, right?
Yeah. I just don't see where he fits in, honestly.
If I had to choose a pick that I didn't like, I mean, it's kind of like the one that seems unproven to me is the Aaron Banks one. Like, you could have got him later, but maybe he might be the good pick. So maybe I'll eat my words, I'll crow, just if he proves me wrong. But I just thought he was a bit of a reach.
Well, that's the thing. I also like to look at draft 4 years later. Like, doing a draft grade or anything immediately after the draft, I think, is a joke and a time waster. But I know people do it and people eat it up and stuff. But it's really what we need to look back, because we could go back to the 2016 draft where the Rams took Jared Goff, and at the time it was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. We look back on it now, it's like, man, we could have done better. So
yeah. What could have been, maybe you guys could have just took Wentz and it probably would have been different, but nope.
Yeah,
you guys got Goff.
Who knows? And I wanted Goff. But didn't work out. Neither of them are on the original team, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, neither of them are. Goff was the one pick that everybody was talking about. He was a can't miss prospect, and Carson Wentz was a small college prospect, and it kind of just did okay for both sides. Yeah, big 30 likes. Ooh, can't wait to see Brian Young return to Levi Stadium. Yeah, he's supposed to retire his jersey. Or not jersey, but coming to the Ring of Honor or something. Oh yeah, later, Mr. Clean. So. Okay, so which is the one player that we need to look out for the when we play you guys? Which is the player? Okay, outside of Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and those other players, like Robert Woods and the other, who's that one player from the Rams that we got to watch out?
You know what? A guy that I think is not getting nearly enough credit, not even from Rams fans, is safety Jordan Fuller. He started last year as a rookie. Under Sean McVay, rookies don't really play that much. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it just happens to be that way. But he started and he progressed pretty quick over the course of the year. As the season went on, he became kind of like a guy in the defense, So I think with John Johnson leaving, as much as that sucks, I think that Jordan Fuller is that guy that can – he's only going into his second year. I think that he's that guy. He's number 4 this year with the new number rules. He's changed his number, so safety at number 4. But I think that's a guy you got to watch for. I think he's going to have a very strong season.
Oh, so he's that safety you guys drafted from Ohio State, right?
Yeah, I believe he was Ohio State. Yeah, he was. He was number 4 there as well. That's why he went down. He went to that number.
Oh, that explains why he went to number 4. So isn't it true that Jalen Ramsey switched to number 5?
Yes, that did become official. He originally came out in practice wearing number 5, and there was 0 reports of him changing his number, and then it did become official. I think he had to spend, I want to say the number was $619,000 on jersey stock in order to change his number. I want to say that was the number. Something ridiculous, but but he did it. So we got number 5 and number 11 and number 4 in our secondary. So that'll be interesting this year.
Okay, so Bay Area Baller just asked you an intriguing question. Tyler Higbee in fantasy, yay or nay?
Tyler Higbee is very hit or miss week in and week out. He can have those games where he absolutely explodes, but then he'll also have those games where he'll have 2 catches for 14. You know what I mean? So I would say, as far – I'm not a fantasy guy. I would say for the Rams, though, if you're going to look at any kind of weapon, I almost would wait to see who Stafford starts to target, because we know that Goff had his favorite guys in Woods, and he liked Higbee as well. But maybe Kupp is his guy. Maybe Higbee is his guy. Maybe it's Van Jefferson. You never know who that guy he's going to be really comfortable with is going to be. But Higbee, I like, especially with Everett leaving now. Gerald Everett, Seattle Seahawk. I think that's I think it'd be a good pick, but there is a lot better tight ends out there, I think. Not to bash my team.
Yeah, so here's a question from Those Other Sports. He's asking a question about the single-digit number changed.
So why? Honestly, it's money. I mean, anything the NFL does is money. Jalen Ramsey, like I said, had to spend like $619,000 to be able to change his jersey number. It's I don't know. At first I kind of hated it. I kind of had that Tom Brady reaction where I was like, what the hell? It's like, this is just chaos. But then I started seeing it, like Darius Williams changed to number 11, Jalen Ramsey changed to 5, Jordan Fuller's in number 4. Stuff like, I think it's kind of fun now, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I kind of like it. But maybe why?
I would have thought, man, this is not high school. This is not some other like college and all that. But I guess they like that comfort number. They want that number to be their comfort like identity. So the weird part about this number
is all the way up until the NFL. You can wear anything in Little League. You can wear anything in high school, anything in college, and then you get to NFL. It's like, okay, you can only wear 20s and 30s. You know what I mean? Like,
or 40s, or 40s for DBs.
Yeah. But not everybody. You won't see a quarterback wearing like 65. Like that's not going to happen. So
that's just how it is with these rules. But now that they make it more to where they can allow the players to wear it, it doesn't have to be a quarterback or a kicker to wear it no more. It can be any player now. Like for a DB, he can wear. Yeah, like Mosley's got it. Jimmy Ward, this guy goes from. And his glorified cornerback. This guy goes from number 25 to 20. Now he wears number 1. What is he number 1 for? Number 1 bust. I don't know. I'm the biggest hater. I'm the biggest hater critic on Jimmy Ward. Until until we win a Super Bowl, then maybe I'll order me a Jimmy Ward and I'll crow. But until then, he's proven me nothing. Best availability is what I care about, but he just never. I know a lot of our fan base are giving him a pass, but I'm still not giving the guy a pass. Has he played a full 16-season game? No. Still got to prove it.
On that same kind of token, there is Cooper Kupp for the Rams. Definitely a loved player by Rams fans. He's missed all of the Rams' biggest games. Where was he in the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? He's on the sideline in street clothes, stuff like that. So, injuries, but at the wrong times. He's played a lot, but that's where he gets hurt at the wrong time. Let's see what that is.
That is true. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's okay to be realistic and criticism, but just not just not a Jimmy Ward fan. I just don't think he was the best choice. We could have picked Bradley Roby. We could have got Roby over him at the time, but why would we pick a guy? To this day, that's one of the players I don't like. And, Kwame Harris is another guy I didn't like. Terrible tackle. Worst guy to pick from Stanford. Don't ever draft a Stanford offensive lineman. They're not good.
We have bad luck drafting offensive linemen in general, so.
Yeah, like that Greg Robinson guy. I guess he wasn't exactly what he was.
Greg Robinson, Alex Barron, who else? And every Rams fan was like, "Oh, he's the next Orlando Pace." Like, let's see him play first, and then he sucks. I'm trying to think of the other one. There was a Jason Smith was in there. Yeah, we had a couple. Just not. Good.
Yeah. Wait. So Dom. As far as like the matchup wise, I think we're just there's very similarities between what McVay and Shanahan do. The play calls.
It's almost unfortunate because McVay doesn't seem to be adjusting to what Shanahan's doing. Shanahan's kind of had McVay's number these last few years. So even with, like Nick Mullins playing, 49ers have been able to get it done against the Rams. So, there's something there. Something about Shanahan and the 49ers right now that is just kind of picking at the Rams right now. And it's not that fun.
It's just an advantage game right there.
Yeah, and hopefully that can change this year. I'm thinking, maybe Stafford is what we need to move on from that, because I think that especially specifically Saleh on that defensive for the defensive coordinator. I know he's gone now, but I think he knew how to get to Jared Goff. Every time we played the 49ers, Jared Goff looked so robotic. He looked so just shaken. He looked nervous all the time. And I think a big part of that was Saleh and his defense. So we'll see if maybe that's the secret here. You guys losing Saleh and us losing Goff. Maybe the tides will turn here a little bit.
Oh yeah, then you guys lost your coordinator too. But I think Raheem Morris he's kind of a suitable replacement. I think you guys might be just fine. The one question mark is, can D'Amico Ryans fill in just great for Saleh? We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, some changes for sure for you guys as well. But going from Brandon Staley to Raheem Morris, I don't hate that at all. Staley, he came to us. He was 1 year defensive coordinator for us, and he came from being an outside linebackers coach for the Denver Broncos, where he was coaching Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. Like, how much did he really need to do? And then he comes in with this amazing defensive scheme, does an awesome job, well enough to get a head coaching job, one being a coordinator. But I like Raheem Morris as a defensive coordinator too. I'm not hating that move at all. But for you guys too, man, Saleh, that's a hit for sure. So we'll see how much of a hit it is. But yeah, that's definitely a hit because he's a hell of a coach.
So how do you feel? So do you think that maybe that D'Amico Ryans will make a similar leap to what Staley did, or you don't think so? Or maybe put it in your perspective.
Ooh, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Where's he coached before?
He's coached with the Niners for a while, and he was a former NFL player.
Well, yeah, I know. I'll be playing, but I guess that's one I hate to give the answer. We just got to kind of wait and see, man. It's you can never know until they're in that spot. That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're from Saleh, and I like Shanahan's style of coaching. I think he does a very good job of creating a culture, just like McVay does. So if he can continue that, then he'll be all right.
Yeah, that's true. So I think what D'Amico Ryans is, he adds very good experience as a linebacker, and he can relate to the players. So the players are buying into him. Like Fred Warner's talking about how good of a coach he is. The linebackers like him. The defensive players like him. They're just talking about how they are buying into what he's saying. Like he wants this defense to be more aggressive. He wants it to be a speed aggressive style. And the players just really – it seems to me with Robert Saleh leaving the building, I thought it would have been a different type of change, but it seems to me the players are just too excited about. They're pumped up about D'Amico Ryans more than they are with Saleh. No offense to Saleh.
See, that's weird because Saleh is like that hype guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is that Mr. Clean hype guy, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, and for you guys specifically though, like how you describe it, going to like a speed defense kind of thing. I mean, in this division, that's what you have to do. Look at these offenses. I mean, look at the weapons that the Rams have, the different variety of weapons that the Rams have. Then you got Seattle. We know like DK. We know Russell Wilson. And then all of the weapons that the Arizona Cardinals have been picking up. You know, they got wide receivers for days. So you need to have a fast defense in this division. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So a lot of it does depend on it, but I think the Rams won't even miss a beat with Raheem Morris as DC. The question mark is, can DeMeco Ryans duplicate the same success as Robert Saleh, or can we be a lot better than this year? You know, that would be the question. That will be yet to be determined. So I really do think it's going to be very kind of interesting about the Rams and Niners. This might come down to it might even go down to the NFC Championship. Who knows?
Yeah, I really do. I really believe that this division is between Rams and Niners. I think the Niners bounce back in a big way. They got beat up by injuries last year, and that happens, you know. But I think that they'll be all right. I think that the Rams are in a really good spot right now, and improved their weakest spot at quarterback. I think that the Seahawks are. Yeah, there's something about Seattle that I'm just not super into this year. I don't know if they'll be. They're gonna be there at the end, but I just don't know if they can absolutely do it. And then we know the Cardinals, they've loaded up with talent, but is their coaching staff good enough? They've definitely got the weakest coaching staff in the division. So
yeah. See, that's the thing. That's the one thing I question most is Seattle. Like, they're just like the least talented team in that division. Like, there's no defense. Their offensive line is the most suspect, but they only have just Russell Wilson, the receivers, outstanding. Just how long can they hold on? Because Russell Wilson can do so much, you know, he can do so much. And then it questions for Seattle. They can't even go deep into the playoffs. They either just miss the playoffs or by losing the game, or they go as further as they can and they lose. So they do need a defense. They need a secondary. Their edge rushers are not too bad. Linebacking core is okay, but secondary is like their biggest Achilles heels that's been holding them back. So it's like Cam Chancellor retired for health reasons, and they just never the same. Earl Thomas left, they weren't the same. But sure, they got Quandre Diggs and all the other players, but that's not the same exact type of defense they once had. You know, it's different.
That's
culture,
true. I mean,
so.
Russell Wilson's been carrying that team for years. You know, Pete Carroll without Russell Wilson is sub 500 in the NFL. Russell Wilson's been carrying that team for years.
Yeah, he's been holding them on their back, so it's kind of been the team that you cannot underestimate. You might say, oh, they don't have a chance. I don't know. Russell Wilson's still there. Last I checked, he's still.
As long as they have Russ, they have a shot every time.
They have a shot, and the receiving core is not that bad. They got some good receivers like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. They just drafted that one kid from Western Michigan. He's supposed to be good.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm blanking on his name. Now. Yeah, that's right though. Yeah, and DK is very good. I like our matchup with him because Jalen has a way of kind of getting under his skin a little bit and he kind of handles them pretty well. So I like that. But DK is a very, very talented player.
Yeah, he's got the speed, the body weight. It's kind of like a little bit like Calvin Johnson with that Moss speed, you know. But,
yeah, just something about Jalen Ramsey just kind of gets under his skin. I think it messes up his play when he goes against the Rams specifically.
Yeah, Rams. You know what's more interesting about the Rams is they know how to contain these mobile quarterbacks. Like, have you noticed the way you guys have developed your defense? Like, they're just able to slow down guys like Kyler Murray.
That's
Russell
been a thing since Kaepernick days with you guys. I mean, we've always kind of been able to handle that. That's never bothered me of going against a mobile guy. The Rams have done a good job about that for years.
Yeah, so I think even just taking Ebicom, I think that's what we brought him in for because I think he's more than just a speed rusher. I think he can be good on the spying part where he can get guys like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. So that's going to be something to determine. But the Rams do know how to develop. But so tell me one sleeper player from your defense that might surprise people besides Jordan Fuller.
Besides Jordan Fuller. I won't use Jordan Fuller and I won't use Robert Rochelle because I've been hyping them all offseason on Rams Showcase. But you know what? I'll say Kenny Young, linebacker that we actually traded Marcus Peters for Kenny Young. He was part of that deal. For when we wanted to get Jalen Ramsey, we sent out Peters to the Ravens, but got Kenny Young back. And at the time, it was kind of like it felt low impact. But last year, he was doing a pretty good job. We didn't necessarily expect a whole lot from Kenny Young, but he kept getting better. And then he wasn't even really a starter. He was kind of just like a rotation guy. But then by the end of the season, he was in the game all the time. Had that beautiful pick six against the Patriots. That was awesome. I mean, kind of just went right to him. He didn't, he was in the right spot. But heck of a play. And then that was my favorite play of the entire season. I'll tell you why. Is because Kenny Young picked off the ball, and the two guys in front of him blocking, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, loved it. That he picks off the ball and they turned into blockers immediately. Absolutely loved it. That's team right there. But Kenny Young, I think, he got so much better over the course of the season. I'm excited to see what he does this year.
Oh, so Kenny Young is one of your up and coming linebackers. Okay, I've seen his name pop up from what Pale said, and you guys are throwing his name out there. Okay, so he's one of those guys that would be your starters, or you think still rotation?
Yeah, I think you know what? I think Kenny Young has a very big chance to green dot for the Rams this year. Last year it was Micah Kaiser, and didn't do a bad job in that role, but he feels kind of like slightly above average. He has progressed, but not as fast as I would have liked to see. So Kenny Young, I think, has a real shot of being the play caller on defense. Him and possibly Ernest Jones at linebacker too, but some youth there, talent, youth, but it's still listed as potential. We got to turn it into production.
Okay, so name me one offensive player that will be your breakout player that nobody would even expect. Like, think of like that one offensive player.
See, that's a tougher one because the Rams offense is pretty straightforward, honestly. Like, from last year, it's pretty straightforward. I guess you would say Matt Stafford, like, as far as a breakout, because has he ever really broken out? You know what I mean? Like, he's had some very good, some strong seasons and stuff like that. But I genuinely believe that Matthew Stafford coming to a Sean McVay offense with these weapons and this offensive line, like this team around him, I think that Matthew Stafford has I don't think he'll get it specifically. I think he's got a real shot on being at the conversation at the end of the year, being MVP. I think he'll be in the conversation. But I think he's in the conversation.
Yeah, okay. So now that you tell me about it, this guy is very accurate. And you guys got the better supporting cast. Yeah. He can put on another 5,000 yards passing or even more, maybe 50 touchdowns. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too much out of my head, but the Rams do have a good receiving core. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp,
Deshaun Jackson, Tutu Atwell, and then you look at tight ends. We got Tyler Higbee and Jacob Harris, our running backs. Cam Akers is a receiving back, so he'll probably get in there as receptions too. He's been in the OTAs. He was lining up at wide receiver and stuff, so we're seeing a lot of mixing up there. He's got weapons, man, and yeah, he could. He's in a very good spot to have a strong season.
Okay, so for Stafford, man, that's if he can definitely stay healthy. That is a possible, but like, man, so I'm thinking in my own head, can I actually, man, so if I can just draft in the fantasy league, should I even take a scoop on Stafford? That's the question mark. I might even consider it because since a lot of people are saying that he's got the best supporting cast in this type of team, it's like, dude, like this is the kind of guy that you would expect to do better this year. I think this is the one guy that people are going to sleep on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said before. I mean, look at the situation that he's in coming to the Rams this year specifically. I mean, this is the best coach he's ever seen by miles. That's not even in question at all. This is the best offensive line he's had, more weapons than he's ever had, better defense. I mean, it's a tougher division than he's ever been in, but Stafford's in a very good spot, man. I'm liking Stafford's chances here. I don't know if he'll win it because there's some very good players out there, but I think he's going to be in the conversation all the way through the season.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. But we shall wait and see. But that's a good option right there, Stafford, man. Like he did put up 5,000 yards passing before. He might even do it again.
He's a heck of a player, man, for sure. I'm excited to have him.
I think like. As much as I hate to say it, but he is an upgrade over Jared Goff, and he does bring a lot of good experience, and he's been a Pro Bowler, so he does have a good understanding of this offense, yeah.
And he's done it with really one weapon his entire career. I mean, that was a hell of a weapon, first ballot Hall of Famer, but I mean, he's been out there just doing it, man, and without a lot of help and with bad coaching his entire career. That's really what gets me is the coaching. We've got better coaches by miles over anything he's ever seen.
You know what? If I was busting a sweat, it would be Stafford's breakout year for some reason. I think he might give us some fits. Like, who knows? Like, that guy, he did put on some great numbers in Detroit, so I think he might even put up the same numbers, if not better, because Robert Woods, he might even have the breakout year, but nobody's going to talk about it.
That's a good point.
Nobody's going to talk about it. They're going to talk about the other receivers. He gets forgotten. That's what I don't understand. It's like, as much as I hate how you guys have this guy, he doesn't get enough recognition. Don't you feel that he doesn't get enough recognition for the Pro Bowl as much?
Yeah, definitely. He's also so quiet. Like, he's not like, I feel like so many wide receivers are like that obnoxious personality, you know? And Robert Woods just kind of keeps his head down, does his job, you know what I mean? So he's out of the headlines. We never hear anything from him off the field or anything like that. He just shows up and catches footballs and does a good job at it. So
yeah, and he's a local kid too. He's from LA, so
he's a number 2 more. He changed his number from 17. He's rocking number 2. That's another one of the weird ones. Deshaun Jackson's in number 1. Bobby Trees, that's right.
Who's Bobby Trees?
That's Robert Woods.
Oh yeah, Robert. Oh, that's what they call him. Bobby Trees. Okay, all right. Yeah, I picture Stafford maybe starting slow, then by game 4 we're off and running. Yeah, we shall see. That's going to be interesting. Oh, it's Bobby Tree smokes trees. All right, man. It's crazy that I got a lot of these comments from everybody else that I have. There's quite a few of others I haven't seen in a while. But man, dude, for some reason, man, if it wasn't for this weather, bro, I probably wouldn't be busting a lot of sweat. But I think it's that Stafford. I think it's that Stafford sweat, man. It's not making me sleep. Just like Ramley report was saying, bro. Like, I would not be like, if it was the other way around, he probably would have sleepless days. I mean, damn. Like, so the interesting part about it is, man, I'm just excited for the season. 10 more weeks until the season starts.
Oh, we're getting there, man.
We're getting there, man. In that round table, we getting started. Those 2 episodes, that's just the beginning.
Okay, first of all, we need to tell people that that's where you need to go. All right, so it's the AZ Sports Fan. We'll be doing a round table. It will be us 2 and then Steezy and then the AZ Sports Fan. We all just talk NFC West. We'll be doing it every single week when the season starts up. We've done a few in the past, but with it being off season and stuff like that, and especially it's July right now, so NFL news is not exactly just popping off like crazy. So once the season begins, we'll be bringing that back. I'm pumped about it. It's awesome working with you guys, man.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that that Mike can work out a schedule to where I can get it on my day off at least, because the schedule's been a killer. So it's like I've been trying to work out something with him, but it's like man, dude, like there was a time we were going to do that draft and I told Mike, like, I can't, bro, because I'm at work. And it's just like, and he said, oh, we'll do it during the season. And I was like thinking maybe we can work something out. And he said, we'll get to it during the season. But dude, this is just half of the round table. You got me and Showcase. You ain't see what Steezy can do. You ain't seen what AZ Sports Fan is, bro. This guy gave me a platform. He gave us a platform. And he's a Cardinals fan. What does that tell you?
Yeah, he's doing awesome too, man. He's stoked on the Suns right now. I'm not a basketball guy.
Oh man, dude, the Suns, bro. I can't believe his Suns took my Lakers out of the damn playoffs. That freaking Suns.
I'm not a basketball guy. I don't really follow at all. I kind of like half claim Nuggets, but I can only name the Joker, so I don't think that counts. I don't brag on it.
That's still being a fan. I guess you can call yourself a Nugget fan.
I mean, yeah, it's my home team, I guess. So
Suns and Bucks in the finals, yeah, that should be interesting. But no offense to you guys. I mean, you guys did beat us, so I ain't gonna make excuses. Good luck to you guys. The Bucks, we'll see who's the better team. I think Suns are gonna win it all. I think because they got Booker, and then they got Chris Paul there too, so they should be pretty good. But
you're outside.
Yeah. Okay, man. As far as everything else, we'll probably do another like collaboration maybe during the season or maybe on the round table. But everybody else who hasn't subscribed, Ram Showcase, go check out his channel. If not, go check out his other social media. He's definitely a cool dude. And huge shout out to this new comic guy, this Rams. Hopefully, I see him around more often. But appreciate it, man. Like to see a lot of these other NFC West fan base coming into the stream, so I can get some good vibe with everybody else. Pale Time's another good guy. This Lennon Wolf AC fan. Hopefully, I see a lot of you NFC West fans. Dude, I just like that division. That division just gets interesting. It just fires me up, dude, because this division is not given. You have to fight for it.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I don't think I can remember a time where there was 4 teams in one division that are all being in conversations for Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like that's some good stuff right there. The Seahawks are going to be there as long as Russell's there. The Niners and Rams were both there pretty recently, and the Arizona Cardinals are not messing around with adding talent. So
yeah, they're doing the best moves out. Yeah, they're making aggressive moves. They got DeAndre Hopkins last year, and they're still making those moves. So they did get an aging AJ Green, so they shouldn't be far off.
Bringing in JJ, that's a move, man. When I saw that picture, when he tweeted that picture of him wearing that Cardinal shirt, I was like, damn it.
Damn it. And then that JJ Watt, what?
Yeah.
I thought Watt was going to go to a contending team, and then he went to Arizona. Like, okay.
And then they signed everybody else, every other free agent. So
I mean, I'm not gonna sleep on Arizona because they always seem to bring their best, and just because of what happened last year doesn't mean they're gonna do the same thing again. They might just be the team that started out good. And yeah, you know what? For any fan in the NFC West, you should be excited because this is not the weakest teams in that division. We might even be the first 4 teams to make the playoffs.
That'd be so sweet.
Maybe. Yeah, that 7 awesome. Expansion. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that 4 of the NFC West teams can make the playoffs?
Well, see, I just hope it doesn't run into like an SEC situation where we just beat ourselves up all year and then we're not ready for the playoffs.
Oh man, that would be terrible. Yeah,
you get a team like the Bucks who will just skate into the playoffs because the rest of their division's kind of trash, and then just catch.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, Lennon Wolf, the AZ Sports fan. I mean, realistically, I would have to say, as far as the team who will win that division on paper and the team that's most improved, it's got to be the Rams. I mean, damn, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of criticism off my fan base by being realistic, but until we stay healthy, until we prove ourselves, then I believe in my team. But at this point, the Rams just have the best all-around talent. So maybe I like that mentality. Stay humble, prove yourself. And I just think that until we can stay healthy and do what we do against Sean McVay, if we can do the same thing again, then I believe we got a chance to win that division. But at this point, I'm going to give the Rams the edge.
Yeah, I really do like the Rams to win this division. That's not just because I'm a Rams fan. I like our team right now, and I think we improved our biggest weakness, and that was the quarterback spot. Won 10 games in a road playoff game with Jared Goff. Well, I'm excited to see what Stafford can do. I think that the Rams' biggest threat to the win of the NFC West is the 49ers, but all 4 teams are very realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic. It's open.
It wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Seahawks. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Cardinals. So I think the Rams will do it, but any of these teams
it can go down to any of those teams, but it's like if somebody were to ask me realistically, I don't want to sound like an average fan base that says, most fan base will be homerish and say, oh, we're going to win it. Like, I got to look at the realistically. Maybe I'll be wrong. I like to be proven wrong for once. If I say this, maybe it will be the other way around. But if I say that we do have a chance, it has to be through the heart and me believing in it. I had to buy into it. So, yeah. Oh, he says, oh. Hey, I appreciate every one of the NFC West fans, bro. Like, I want that NFC West vibe, bro. I want that comments from all the NFC West, man. I want, Rams Showcase, great Rams YouTuber. He knows how to get the Rams fans riled up, but I want to get the entire Niner fan base and the entire NFC West fired up.
Dude, Lennon Wolf is saying that the Seahawks can get last. I've been saying that for a while this offseason. I think that they're the last place team.
I think because of their talent, but you can never underestimate Russell Wilson. So
yeah, but this is also the first time that we're entering a season where there was some off-season BS with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Is that gonna
wants to get traded?
Kind of be there? You know what I mean? Like in his head a little bit. So I don't know. They're the only team in this division this offseason that had like any kind of controversy around them. Everybody else was just adding talent, looking good, like making improvements. They were the only ones that had that like distraction there. So I think it's relevant.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But you know what, bro? Ram Showcase, man, great show, bro. I appreciate you and everybody else, man. It's gonna be a wrap today. Definitely go check out Ram Showcase if you guys are not subscribed to him. And be sure to check out the NFC West Roundtable from the AZ Sports Fan channel. I mean, he does great content. So if you guys want to watch the Roundtable, me and Ram Showcase are like half of the co-hosts. So definitely check us out. We'll give you NFC West honesty. We'll be straightforward about it. We'll tell you like it is. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
I think that's my favorite thing is that none of us are just like, no, my team's the best. My team's the best. Screw your team.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, no, man, you guys are really good here. I like that.
Yeah, realistically, we got to be true to ourselves. We can't be homerish.
Definitely, man. Well, thank you so much for having me, man. Again, it's at Ram Showcase Instagram and Twitter, at Sheriff Joe Bags Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, Ram Showcase or Sheriff Joe Bags. Subscribe, Ram Showcase on YouTube. That's where it's at. Thank you guys so much.
All right, man. We'll definitely go in the near future again, man. Peace.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
All right.